How's it going, everybody? I'm here with the Glacier Bay one-piece dual flush high efficiency toilet. Its part number is 635675 and it is white. So this does both two flush options, 1.1 gallon liquid or 1.6 gallon solid. The button will be on the top side, sorry for my shadow, and the dimensions right there. So basically the rough in is 12 inches, which is pretty standard. So measure from your drywall to your bolt. That's your typical rough in. And obviously the height of the toilet is 28.2 inches. The width is 16.5 inches. The height from floor to top of the toilet seat looks to be 16.5 inches. And the total length from wall out is 29.6 inches. Now I went with this model just because it had like 4,300 reviews. I think it was like 4.5 stars. Figure that's pretty good. It's a toilet. I don't know what else more to say. I think it cost $169 at Home Depot. That's where I ordered it and picked it up from. And it's fairly heavy. I got it out of the back of the bed just fine, but it is pretty heavy. I might actually take a look at it here and then maybe just put it back in the box to take it back downstairs. Tells you how to install it and all that good stuff. Toilets are not that hard. Mine's gonna be a little more complicated only because I'm gonna add a new water on-off valve and line and just some basic other stuff. So here's the stuff I got. You don't need this stuff, but this is like the wall plate or floor plate, depending how your pipe comes through. It comes as a 2-pack. You know, they get nasty looking over time and what have you. It's not expensive, so I figured why not. Here's the valve. It's a 1/4 turn angle valve. These are nice versus they're better made than the ones that the builder used, which is the cheapest of the cheap. So these are nice because they're easy to turn on and off. I just prefer them. A stainless line. These are obviously nice. This will hook to the top of there and go to the bowl. Hopefully that's the right length. If not, I'll just have to run up and exchange. And then I got the Better Than Wax toilet seal because it's guaranteed for 10 years. But with wax seals, if you have to do any plunging, you could break the wax seal over time, thus causing a leak, and thus either making a big mess or you at least having to take apart the toilet to replace the wax seal. So I figured, well, let's go with modern technology here and let's do the Better Than Wax. It makes sense. This was like $8. It's not that crazy expensive. People act like, wow, it's so expensive. Yeah, it's more than wax, but it's not that expensive. So that's what I have going on here. Let's go ahead and take a look of how this toilet looks and do an unboxing video. So right away we get a thing that says stop. Important, please read instructions carefully to ensure you have all the parts. Now that's what I'm going to do before I take it downstairs. I'm going to make sure I have all the parts. So this just comes out. Nothing in there. First we have this, and it looks like it's the button, the manual, the bolt covers for the side of the toilet, and it comes with a wax ring. I wasn't quite sure if it did or didn't, but it does come with your standard height wax ring. So you don't need the other one, but the other one should work better, I hope. So here we have it. I mean, here's the toilet in the box after you take off the cardboard 2 pieces that you saw. And the internal, just kind of want to go over it before you totally take it out. Just make sure it looks like it's well finished. This is something their QC person should have checked before boxing it, but you know, companies get the new hire that day. It seems fine. I like it from what I can see. It's pretty heavy, so I'm definitely going to want to put the cardboard back in and take it downstairs to, I call it my bathroom, my toilet that I mainly use, and just take it down in the cardboard. That way I can take it down the steps a lot easier. Just go from there. So just put the cardboard back on. But you just want to look at it to just make sure there's no obvious, right? I don't want to carry it downstairs and find out, oh my God, there's something wrong with it. So let's move downstairs now. So as you can see, I kind of cleaned out from around there. My tank was leaking. The seals had gone, so I could have just replaced those seals, but I figured just replace the toilet. We've never liked these toilets in this house, so we'll start with my bathroom and see how we like this toilet, and then I'll replace another one, and I'll replace another one. For $169, or 200 bucks with the bits, isn't that bad, really. I mean, you can buy $700, $800, $1,000 toilets. I don't know if they'll work any better than the Glacier Bay that I got. The one that's in here is builder quality. I call it builder quality. It's just Briggs, and it's a 1.6 gallon flush, where the other is a 1.1 to a 1.6, depending what you need to flush. So possibly we could conserve some water at least. I brought everything down, so I got all the parts down here. Paper towel, can't see it, but behind there, wastebasket to scoop up the putty. I'll probably need a putty knife, scoop that up, throw it away, because we're going with the waxless gasket. You'll want one of these, an adjustable wrench, or a socket, but instead of figuring out the size of whether it's standard or metric, it's probably standard. I just grabbed this because most homeowners will have one of these. So let's get to it. I'll go ahead and start taking this toilet apart. Oh, another thing I want to do, because I'm replacing the valve, I want to just open the faucet and drain as much water as I can, so I obviously won't have a mess over here when I take that valve off and put the new one on. So I already have the water shut off due to the tank leaking. I already cleaned up the water that had dripped out over the night. Yeah, off the top if you have a top. It is a two-piece system. Take off this line. For us, it's actually a hard metal line they did here, which it's good and bad. It never break, but it fits to this toilet, so it is what it is. Undo the bolts for the bottom. And really, once you lightly turn it, you can just usually do it by hand, but not always. To this side, just counterclockwise. See if I can turn it some till the top, and it looks like I have to wrench it off. There's also, at least on ours, these are just wing nuts. So I could just take the tank off, do this in pieces so it's not as heavy. So, wing nuts and a washer. I've replaced all this stuff when we first got the house. I replaced all the toilet insides and all these washers and what have you. Let's see, that is off, right? Yeah. And being that I have a shower right here, if you're in a bathroom, you should be able to have a spot to dump the water. Oh, it looks like that's what failed. Oh my God. Really? That means all our other toilets are the same. That's pretty bad. That should not have rotted like that, to be honest. I mean, that's... Wow. Well, that explains why it started to leak. Next step would be lifting this toilet off the base, and that's all you really do, and then scrape up the wax. I'm still losing water, so I'm going to give it a little time, and I'm going to come back to this. I don't want to take this off and smell anything coming out of the hole, you know. So this is still on, so it has some water in it, obviously, and waiting for that to stop draining, so then I could take this off. And obviously I have plenty of pipe there to mess with, which is hilarious. Builder quality house. And that's why I bought a new one of these. I'm going to leave the toilet on because it has water in it. I don't want fumes coming up. I'm letting the house water continue to drain until that faucet doesn't have any more water. Now this might still drain a little because it's lower than the faucet, but I will be able to manage the water that comes out. Obviously I have a lot of pipe here extra. You want to look at that before you replace a valve. Otherwise you have to get in the wall, solder. I can do that. I don't want to do that, but that is a possibility. I bought a new one of these plates, which they come as a 2-pack to put on, just make it look nice. And then when I put it back, I'll put it back, and I'll probably put some caulk behind just to hold it there just a little bit, you know, just to hold it there, use it as like a adhesive. So what you do is you wrench this fitting off, because it's a compression fitting, and that's basically it. Shit, that's bending the pipe. Let's not do that. Okay, I'm just gonna cut it. If it'll fit in there, I think it will. Or I got the smaller one that gets in tighter spots. So luckily I have this stuff. I got a piece of sandpaper to clean up the copper. This is what the new one looks like, quarter turn. So to turn it off, just go like that. They're just much nicer, better built usually, and it's a compression fitting also. That one wasn't coming off, and instead of reefing on that pipe because I saw it started to twist, forget that, just cut it off. And I'll have enough pipe. Go around, it gets loose, just tighten it. Works the same with the other one. The other one's just bigger. Sometimes you can get around a couple times. Fun. If you have towels on hand, grab a towel. I'll get a little bucket too. Like I said, this is the lowest pipe, so you gotta expect some water. How much water? I don't know. Depends on the house. So not a whole lot of water, but more than you would want on the floor typically. And then that's all you do. It's nice, clean cut, and you're done. Without trying to wrench that off. Now, I want to take that guy off because I'm replacing with the newer one. You don't have to if you're budget conscious. And obviously your cat's gonna love maybe running water, especially if it's a kitten. Looks like some gunky solder on that pipe. So if you have a bigger one, they have that. Trying to take the sharpness off, any burrs. But we're not soldering, so that's not a big deal. You still want to clean a clean area for the compression. You can kind of do the outside just to, so it's not real sharp to, you know, cut yourself on. You go like this too. Like that. Clean it up. Looks like brand new copper. This is why I kept paper towels on hand. So you got your new fitting. Obviously I want it facing up. And there's the compression ring right there. So 1/2 inch is pretty standard, so it did fit on good. That pipe is nice and round. And you just slide this guy on. You slide on the compression. I mean, obviously it should be nice and snug as it'll stay on the pipe. Okay, let's see. Now I put this guy on. I'll put this piece on. It's good. That. I've got the bigger wrench. I think I showed that. So on the outside of, if I can put it up in here like this, they give you a spot to hold. So you get 2 wrenches. Yeah, I think that's all the way on. Okay. I straightened it up too some, so we're gonna hope that did it. And the scary part is turning on the water to the house and hope it doesn't blast out. Okay, as you heard the faucet come on, it seems like this is a good seal. I can test it by cracking it. Okay, see, kind of shot up because it's a 1/4 turn, but yep, we got some pressure in there. They also give you a compression fitting for that if you do a hard line. However, this guy has an O-ring in there, what have you, and should in theory be able to just go right on right there. I'll kind of leave it loose for now. And we're going to remove the toilet next. So the toilet's pretty basic. Once you loosen it, it might be caulked to the floor, which you should have, but so you kind of rock it. There you go. And it is ready. And it is nasty. You can see it. This one's kind of offset. And it looks like there's poop there. So really nasty. So it took me a bit, but I'm gonna have to use the wax seal because the builder obviously at the time of building didn't line up the toilet. So they have this funny jog in it, which is probably legit, I hope, but hey, classic homes, type of stuff you get with a classic home. So the blue one, you know, the silicone, it's just because how high that is on this side versus that side. It just wasn't enough. So I'm gonna have to use the wax seal because it's not gonna need much sealing over here at all. But I had to cut that black part to allow it to go down. And that's what they kind of had on the old one right there. So now I get to place the toilet on. So we'll see how this works. Sorry that was off camera with the wax seal, but kind of nerve-wracking. I got a cat, my daughter's home now from school, so I set the wax seal on. The toilet manufacturer tells you to put the wax seal on the toilet and then down. But I'm like, that's at least what I saw in the directions. I just did a quick skim. I put the wax seal down. I've always done it that way. And plus with the cutout, I need to make sure that was facing correctly. So it's facing correctly. I took the toilet. You can grip this toilet here. You'll feel that there's, you know, it goes up. So kind of like built-in handles. Lift it, look it over, and then drop it. Well, not drop it, lower it down over the screws on either side. And it will sit on the wax and it will just go down. You can kind of help it by giving it nice even pressure down. And now this is flush to the floor, which I couldn't get with the rubber newer seal. Oh well, sometimes that's where, you know, wax still is better. And for my case, I didn't need a real high wax seal. The one that comes with the toilet was more than enough wax. For this side, because it's so close, it just squished out, which is fine. You want it to squish, it's sealing, that's the idea. So now we'll tackle the water hookup. So pretty much what I did was lay on the floor here, get up under there, screw that on, tighten the top one there. That's all you have to do if you're replacing that. Most people won't matter for the toilet, you're just reusing. I obviously put on the washer and the nut. I'm probably gonna have to cut that off, break that off at the top so the cap can go on. Not a big deal. Not too worried about that. It is filling right now. You can see I have a counter, but I had pre-measured, so when I put the lid on, I should have enough room to put my hand in here and hit the buttons. Flush 1, flush 2, and I'll have to make those adjustments, but this is the first fill. So it is filling and I don't have any leaks as of yet. Okay, let's see. Flush number 1. So, and that didn't empty all the water out. That should only be 1.1 gallon flush. I can probably make an adjustment here if I want the float to come up higher. You know, a little bit more water, probably won't be much, but okay. So here's number 2. Yeah, still plenty of water in there. I'm pretty sure that's 1 and 2. I'll have to look at the buttons, but pretty sure that's how it is. So for the caps, you got that and that one for either side, right? It looks like it's going to fit without me cutting the bolt. It will say this side up, so the words up, it goes on. Use the wing nut, which is a little bit easier because you're not going to over tighten. Throw that down. It just says that goes onto there, like that. Try that. That, just so this is a little bit higher. Take this, there, snapped on. That worked really good. So the washer gave it a little bit more space. This one, for whatever reason, this guy's a little too high. So unpackage your buttons, there you go. You got your plunger. You can adjust it right there. And it's going to be trial and error. Undo this guy, the ring. And let's see. back of the toilet should be the wider. We'll just put that in like that. There we go, got it. Get it threaded. It's just hand tight. So then you just take your lid. For my case, you just take the lid, and luckily I made sure there was enough room. I put that on just like so. And number one. Well, seemed like it flushed. You don't have to hold it. I have a habit of holding because our old toilets basically had to hold it to make sure water went through. And notice I've measured correctly because you can see it, because a guest will be like, where is that handle? They should see it just enough in this bathroom and they'll have access to it. So this is the tricky part. Gonna waste a lot of water probably flushing it, making sure things work, and you know, making sure those adjustments are just right on the back. And I'll show you how to adjust those if you need to. You can turn that counterclockwise and turn the whole thing so it comes out. And then this is like a jam nut. Just counterclockwise to loosen, clockwise to tighten that back up. It's jammed on. This one I kind of already did slightly longer. Technically, you know, you could make them match because the buttons are the same. And it depends how far you want to press those in too, you know. Maybe you want it right on the edge so you barely press and it's good to go. Let's go ahead and hit that number 2. And if I added just a little bit more water up there, that will mean it will go, you know, a little bit more will flush. Seems like everything's working. I don't see any leaks around the toilet, which is good. Toilet seats are pretty easy. Here's some hardware. It's just plastic, you know. You're not torquing down on anything. There we go. Obviously that goes like... Okay, so just pull, that flips. Some washer things. Let's see if it's obvious. Okay, they are molded. And you just press in, just like so. Take the other one, press it in. So that's pretty self-explanatory right there. Undo that guy. Got your washer. Which, see, washer. Yeah. I guess it's not a soft close. I looked at so many toilets, I don't remember what is what. So it's not a soft close, which is fine. And there we have it. Got the toilet. It looks good. It opens. More importantly, shut the lid. Press the button, and it flushes. So there we go. The only thing I have to do now is add a bead of caulk right around the floor in the toilet. This bowl, I was lucky, is smaller than the old one over here, so it covers the old caulk area perfectly. That makes life a little bit better. You know, I don't have to get down there, scrape and remove a lot of caulk. And looks like I have no leaks. I put in a better valve, I can quickly turn that off if needed for whatever reason, maybe long vacation or something. I can just turn off the toilets real easy. Versus the old school. So the old ones are this. And that shaft is just plastic. And over time, that can break, or you get one that's stuck because you've never really used it, like most people, and you go to turn it and that just snaps. So spend the extra money, change those out if you have room with the copper and you're comfortable doing that and turning off your house water. But if you're having a plumber install this, have them just replace those, especially if they're easy, because it just makes life easier. It's a better unit. It's like a ball in there and seal. You know, it's a lot better quality than these. But this is what builders typically put in, these cheap guys, and the other ones don't really cost that much. So, okay, there we have it. That's my toilet. That's the Glacier Bay, and it seems like it works pretty good. So just remember, get your floor height. Your rough in is from drywall to the bolt down there. Typical is 12 inches. The websites have the measurements of the toilet, and I kind of read that off earlier. So just take note of that. It will come out a little bit more than the old one. So take that into account for your space in your bathroom. Plenty of room here. It's not a big deal. And our future plan is to put a bidet toilet seats on, give those a try. And I wanted the elongated to accommodate, because they make more options if it's the long. And I prefer the long. I mean, you know, you got good room there, and it's still clean. And make sure you don't flush any packing stuff down your toilet. So this looks pretty good. Unfortunately, testing this is going to be awkward, because now I know if it ever gets stuck. You saw how that flange is. You know, I can't really blame the toilet now, can I? It's going to be it's that cockeyed offset flange, because the builders didn't account, I'm guessing, for this wall sticking out over here, and didn't just line it up. Although it looks like there's plenty of room between that and the shower, so a couple inches they could have probably went over there. Maybe code you can't, I don't know, and then it would have just dropped straight in. But anyways, that's what you get with classic homes. Different story. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Please like, subscribe, and check out my other videos. And stay well, my friends. Have a good one. Bye.